how to go through a breakup. And this is something that I feel like, you know, is talked about a lot, actually. I mean, a lot of people go through heartbreak and breakups, but I feel like breakups are usually said to be one of the most emotionally confusing times and also very difficult to process. However, I did see that through my own experience of going through a breakup last year, that it has changed my life for the better in every single way. And while I may have not seen it back then yet, I processed, leveled up my life in ways that I have never experienced. Like, I have undergone such a severe transformation, and it has helped me become the best version of myself. So I am now beyond grateful that that was not my person and that breakup had to occur. I'm a firm believer that rejection is God's protection and redirection. Because if I wouldn't have gone through this breakup, I would have been in a completely different place now, and I wouldn't have the things that I do have now that I'm so grateful for if I would have still been with that man. The reason why it is so difficult to go through a breakup emotionally is because you were used to seeing and being around that person and being so vulnerable around that person, and as soon as that changes, it's like your daily habit that was in your life is suddenly gone. Your whole system is not used to change, that type of change, especially when it's that severe that you guys used to see each other every single day, or you would, spend a lot of time together, and maybe you didn't even have that much of a social life outside of it. That when that person is gone, you feel like you have lost your whole structure of life. And that overwhelms your brain and your nervous system, because to our brain, any type of change is an unfamiliar territory, and that to our brain signals the potential for danger, and thus our nervous system is constantly overwhelmed. But I can say now that that destruction of your day-to-day life that you were so used to with that person gives you so much more room to discover yourself, because then you realize, okay, wait, now I have so much time where I used to be with them, but now I have it all to myself. Let me discover myself. And I think that should be your biggest goal after a breakup, to discover yourself, to truly understand, okay, what do I want in my life? What do I wish to pursue? How do I want to spend my time in the day? A breakup can be the best kind of self-empowerment, especially in the beginning, where your motivational driver can literally be, I'm gonna be the baddest of them all, even if it might be to just show him that he lost something amazing. And that shouldn't be always the driver, but in the beginning, it may help to literally be like, I'm just gonna level up to the degree where this guy will literally be in shock that he just decided to not choose me, but not in a desperate way where you're waiting for him to chase you again, but in a way where you're like, okay, you don't want me? I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm a baddie, so. You need to self-empower yourself. Look hot, dress up, be with your friends, be around other women that support you and give you that energy that you actually need. After a breakup, a lot of people go into isolation, especially when they didn't have that much of a social life outside of their past boyfriend. It's so important to reconnect with other people, and it is truly healing social connection after a breakup. It changes you. It also makes you realize that there are so many amazing people out there, and so many amazing people that can support you in your life. And it's not always just your partner that is the one supporting you. There's so many people out there. And trust me, especially women, I love how women can empower each other, especially after a breakup. Even the people I wasn't even close to still came up to me and empowered me and gave me that energy that I truly needed after a breakup to heal. Now, another big thing is rewiring your brain and your nervous system after a breakup. You will be emotionally overwhelmed. Your mind may be completely chaotic, overthinking a lot of things, thinking, why did this happen? Like, why did he decide to do so? Or if you broke up with him, then there are still some things where you might be thinking, did I do the wrong thing? Is there regret, right? You're overwhelmed. Your nervous system is overwhelmed because a huge change happened in your life. And this happens with everything, right? Not just a breakup. Any big change in your life will overwhelm your nervous system and will cause you to be in a chaotic, uncertain state. Because you also don't know, like, the predictability is gone. That person is not predictable in your life anymore, right? This person is gone. And unpredictability to the brain is scary because we love predictability, right? Change is scary to the brain, as I have already explained. So rewiring your brain after a breakup is absolutely essential. And even if you don't want to do it, I promise you, it will change your life. In fact, I have rewired my brain so much that I used to be very much of a relationship girl. I would really want to be in a relationship. And then I was in a relationship and I realized that it does not fulfill me, right? I can have the person in my life, but my mental health can still be shit. And I thought a relationship would fix my mental health. But after my breakup, I realized, first of all, that is not the case. A relationship does not heal any past wounds. Now, I went from a crazy lover girl to loving my time, being single, and actually not being around men. And of course, I'm not saying that, men are trash, and this is also a belief you should try to process, especially after a breakup and especially if someone did you dirty, to not generalize it to all men, because good men exist and I've seen them. I've seen it through friendships that where, like, my friends have amazing boyfriends and amazing relationships. And of course, no relationship is ever perfect, but there are men that can treat you right. And do not try to generalize that men are trash just because of one man in your life was trash, because that is just not how it is. And that's also going to make your dating life later on way harder. So let's get into the good juicy stuff that helped me actually rewire my brain after a breakup to truly help my heart and mind and body to heal through a breakup. Number one, especially in the beginning phases of the breakup, there will be so many thoughts and emotions within you that need to be expressed. You just need to put them out there somewhere. So, journal. Now, what helped me really is actually explaining to ChatGPT what I have gone through and asking it for journal prompts, and then really just answering those questions. And that I was doing every single evening. And this really helped me to not live in my head and actually express what is going on internally on paper, which kind of puts it outside of your system, and thus all of the things going around in your head aren't stuck within your mind and body, but can actually be let out. And I'm not even kidding when I'm saying journal every single evening, because especially at night, that's when your head starts looping so many different memories and things you remember that you used to do in the relationship, how you used to be around each other, or even replaying the breakup. And that's not helping you heal whatsoever. So express it all on paper and go to sleep in peace. And of course, I'm not saying that journaling will fix that overthinking before sleep, but it will definitely help. And at the end of the day, you really truly just need to calm yourself down before you go to bed, because sleep actually is one of the top things that will heal you after a breakup. And I'm not even joking, because your sleep is the time where your brain literally processes any emotional turbulences in your life. Any times where you have gone through situations, even the good ones, even whatever you have gone through in the day, your brain processes all of it at night. So I don't give a fuck, but you better sleep. That is my top one tip. And if you can't go to sleep, that means you're overstimulated. And what does that mean? Get away from your phone, meditate, journal, drink a tea before going to bed, stretch your body to release that energy, do things to wind down because you're overstimulated. And that is okay to be overstimulated, like that is part of it. But you need to learn how to calm your nervous system down. Now, connecting to sleep. The third thing that is so important is the fact that right before you fall asleep and the moment you wake up, like exactly that moment is when your brain is basically in a hypnotic state where it's your brain is working off of theta waves, which is when you are most susceptible to information. And that is when you reprogram yourself. And that goes with anything. If you have learned about manifestation, you also know this. But if you don't really care about manifestation, that is also okay. But this truly is scientifically proven. It rewires you. Theta waves is when you are closest to your subconscious mind. And that is what truly helps you rewire your neural pathways. Now, I had affirmations that I would basically repeat 3, 4, 5 times, exactly in that moment where I feel like I'm about to fall asleep. And then it takes time to practice and remember that you need to actually say those affirmations because you're literally falling asleep. It's easy to just fall asleep. And the moment you wake up, sometimes you forget, and that is also okay. But really, the more you do it, the more automatically it will come. Every single time you're kind of awake, you're going to remember to say those affirmations. And it also depends on what you're struggling with when it comes to your heartbreak. For example, for me, I struggled with, being independent because I was very much dependent on my past relationship and being attached to that person and feeling like I cannot stand alone without them, right? So I had to empower myself. I had to tell myself I am literally magnetic, I am powerful, and I am whole already. I don't need anyone to fill up anything, to fill up any void within me. So it is so important to empower yourself through those affirmations. It's easier to just pick one very general one and say it because you will not be in the state to remember a crazy difficult affirmation that is, first of all, too long, or 5 different kinds of affirmations. You might forget some. And as soon as your brain tries to remember it, that's already when you change your brain wave length to more beta-like, and beta is when you're actually using your conscious mind and your subconscious is gone because you're already consciously thinking about, okay, what is it? What did I have to say again? No. Ignore that. Pick a super, super simple. It doesn't really matter. Just simple. I am whole. I am loved. Whatever it is that you need, that you feel like you lack within, that you feel like your subconscious needs to take in, say it. 1 sentence. Short. 3 words is the best. I am whole. I am loved. I am magnetic. Whatever it is. It can also be 2 of 3 word sentences. I'm loved. I am magnetic. Point. It will change you. And I did that, I have to be honest, for maybe the first 2 weeks after my breakup. And I changed immediately. 2 weeks after my breakup, there were people that literally came up to me and they were like, I don't know how the fuck you did it, but you just process a breakup so quickly. And I was shocked myself. I was like, I don't know how I did that, but that was literally how, because I rewired my brain. Another thing that I think is important after a breakup is to look at your belief system and look at where you are limiting yourself with your own belief system. For example, thinking that you are not loved because that person decided to leave you. That is not a true belief. Why? Let's just take an example, right? Even the simple things. You have cats at home, they love you. That is proof to you and to your brain that you are loved. Maybe that person left, yes, but that doesn't mean you're unlovable. That just means that that person couldn't love you in the way that you're supposed to be loved. And you deserve love. Everyone deserves love. Even the most horrible people, they deserve love because they probably lacked love somewhere in their life. So now they cannot express it to other people and they spread hate. But every person, in my opinion, deserves love. Another belief that I have already mentioned is saying that all men are trash, all men are like this. And especially us women, we love to bond on that. And while I am guilty for doing that as well, I do think it takes away from our dating experience in the future, us meeting other men in the future, having a husband. And you really need to realize, like, if you are a person that genuinely wants to be married, that wants to start a family, that wants to have that in your future, then you cannot believe that all men are trash, because then your brain will only believe that the men that exist are trash. And so you will only attract men that are trash. But when you believe that there is good men out there and that the right one will find you, then the right one will find you. Especially after a breakup, since you were used to the dynamic of living your life in a relationship, every single night being able to go to bed with someone you can any moment in the day go and hug, and that closeness emotionally and physically will be lacking after a breakup, and that will also make you feel extremely lonely and extremely desperate to have someone in your life. And that is also where some people can fall into rebounds, which is basically just to fill a void. And in the end, that void within is not going to be healed. It's just going to be temporary, sort of filled up by whatever person you chose. But as soon as that person will be gone again, that void will still be here. So you need to really heal that void. And the way that you do that is basically by showing to your brain that there is closeness in your life, maybe even if not romantically, with a partner. You can have that with yourself, right? Your relationship to yourself really matters. Learning how to love yourself changes your life in every single way. And whether it is healing through a breakup or truly just trusting yourself and your potential and encouraging yourself every single day and just being so positive and so ambitious about your life, that all stems from self-love. And I would say that most people struggle with self-love, and most of the times we operate off of fear and lack. And that actually doesn't fulfill us in life, and that makes it always feel like no matter what you do, you never feel whole. So if you struggle with that, then trust me, the first relationship that should be prioritized in your life is you and your relationship to yourself. And I think that is the most important thing that most people overlook. And they always worry about, oh my God, how will they perceive me? Like, I should fix that friendship. I should, help them out. No, you can't help someone else if you cannot help yourself. So help yourself first. And especially in a breakup, you realize that if you will not help yourself, then you will actually only hurt others. And you're going to experience dynamics that won't actually fulfill you. So you should always come first in a breakup. Realize that love does not only come from a relationship, and love can come from so many things. And I honestly, through self-discovery after a breakup, I have found love in my passions, and they make me feel that love that I used to feel coming from a relationship. Now I feel that by following my passions, truly helping people, that's also my passion. And I have truly looked into that and discovered that about myself. And now I truly can experience love through simply just doing what I love. Now I know when you're going through a breakup, even if you're looking into self-help content, it can get overwhelming, and you can also get consumed by feeling like you're helping yourself by watching a lot of self-help content and kind of getting stuck in a loop, in a cycle where you're constantly watching self-help content, but you're not actually taking the information and implementing it into your life. And that's okay, and that's normal, and that's, why they built up these systems on social media where the algorithm is literally feeding you constantly. So I'm just trying to make you aware of it and really, right now, I'm just going to summarize everything just so you can actually implement everything into your life and watch your life change. Number 1, awareness over your emotions and your thoughts through journaling. You can ask ChatGPT for prompts if you're kind of lost and you don't know where to start. Start with that. Number 2, prioritize your sleep beyond anything else. You need to get your sleep, and you need to actually Google on what makes your sleep quality good, because sleep quantity does not always equal to sleep quality. Number 3, reduce any overstimulation because you're already overstimulated. Stop using that phone. I know it's helping you feel better with those quick dopamine rushes, but it's not actually going to heal you in the end. Really prioritize calming down your nervous system, trying different things, and truly actually remembering that life can be fun outside of a relationship. And in the beginning, it's going to be hard, and first you need to process the emotions and calm your nervous system down, but then start exploring. And trust me, you will find joy in life again, and you will be beyond grateful for what you went through. Number 5 is subconscious rewiring through the theta brainwave state right before you fall asleep and right the moment you after waking is when you are most susceptible to information. So pick an affirmation, very short, very simple, so you don't have to overthink it, and you stay in that relaxed state and you can just simply say it. It's going to rewire you. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like you're not doing shit because you just feel like whatever, but it will change your life for the better, and I promise you that. Number 6 is re-engage socially, okay? Start being around other people, and I know during a breakup what most likely happens is that you pull into isolation and you want to process it alone, which is okay and normal, and there's probably going to be phases where you feel like I need some time for myself, and phases where you feel like I need some energy from other people and I want to have fun and just be social again. And I promise you that being social, especially after a breakup, and especially if in the relationship your social life kind of went down the drain and you were kind of your only friend was your partner, then I promise you re-engaging socially will change your entire life. I mean, also will make you feel so much better after a breakup. Especially for me as a woman, talking to other women and actually allowing other women to help me heal through my heartbreak has been really life-changing, and I'm so grateful that I met these people and these amazing women that truly were so supportive and empowering after enduring such a vulnerable time. And I also want to say that even if you're like, okay, during my relationship, I don't have any friends, like now I don't have my partner and I don't have anyone to go to, what do I do? Trust me, you will meet people, and even strangers will literally be the greatest help. I have met so many people that I wasn't even really friends with before, and then suddenly after my breakup, I was so close to them and we connected on such a deep emotional level, and it truly transformed my life. And another thing is that even strangers that didn't even really know me, or they knew me kind of, and they realized that I'm going through a breakup, they came up to me and they started, showing me empathy. And while that is something like that you shouldn't depend on, right? You shouldn't depend on other people literally saving you and helping you and fixing you, because at the end of the day, you're the only person that can fix yourself. But what it does do is empower you, especially during a time where you don't feel empowered. And that can be such a big motivator for internal change coming from you, right? For you wanting to change and to level up your life. But for that, you need to have the belief system that there is people out there that are amazing, and that it is easy for you to find friends, and it is easy for you to engage socially. And that ties into number 7 is rewiring your belief systems, right? You need to literally look at every single belief and look at how you're limiting yourself through that belief, especially after a breakup. A lot of people, especially the brain, immediately goes into like survival mode, and it tries to literally protect you from a future heartbreak. So you might immediately go into like, oh my god, I don't want to date again because the last person on like cheated on me. The last person I was with was a cheater. I cannot trust again. But just because one person was like that shouldn't make you believe that every single person is going to be like that in your life, and that men are trash, right? This is a common belief that women are guilty of, including me. I have gone through that belief as well. But then I had to really look at it. And also I realized like I have friends with amazing guys, with amazing boyfriends, and that treat them right. And they have healthy connections with each other. And that should make you look at it and realize that, okay, maybe not everyone is trash. That there is actually good people out there, and believing that everyone, every man or every woman is trash is actually limiting you from finding your partner, because every single person that you might meet that will be your partner will probably be trash because you believe that everyone is trash. So make sure to not let that survival mechanism of your brain take over your beliefs and what you believe is possible in future relationships. And number 8, which is my absolute like favorite because it truly changes your life and your relationship to yourself, is self-love. Learn how to love yourself. And even if that makes you cringe right now, like, what do you mean, like, love myself? Like, trust me, you're probably not ready for that self-growth if you think that it is cringy to love yourself, but loving yourself does not only affect how you treat yourself, but also how you treat other people. It changes every single dynamic in your life, whether it is how you work, whether it is how you are as a friend, whether it is how you are as a partner. Loving yourself and your relationship to yourself, it goes hand in hand, right? Some people have a bad relationship with themselves where they lack that self-love or they lack that self-respect, but I feel like self-respect and self-love are two things that actually come hand in hand, because if you respect yourself, then you love yourself, because you know that you are deserving of more and you do not deserve any disrespect. That's a whole topic in of itself, and if you guys want me to go into that in another video, feel free to comment that you are interested in seeing a full breakdown of how it is that you can actually change your relationship to yourself and start loving yourself and actually watch your life become super successful through that internal relationship with yourself. I hope this video finds the right people, and if you are going through heartbreak, I want to tell you that it will truly all be good, and life will become so amazing in ways that you never could have even expected, because that's when all the unpredictable things happen. That's when life becomes uncertain, and yes, that might feel scary, but that brings in so many unexpected, beautiful opportunities that will transform your life. So trust in that, trust in yourself, and really prioritize yourself, because you truly matter, and I promise you that. And just because that person left does not mean that you don't matter. It means that they could not literally love you the way you were supposed to be loved. So the right person will stay and will love you the way that you are supposed to be loved, okay? Because if they would love you the right way, then this would be a forever type of thing, and they would be your husband. Or if they were already your husband, then they weren't the right husband. And the right one is there, but you need to believe that there is potential out there for you. Not only in relationships, but also for yourself and for your life. Because now is the time where your life will literally upgrade in a way you have never ever could have expected. And trust that. I love you so much, and you got this, and I truly am rooting for you and I will see you in my next video.